Have you ever woken up in the morning, sat on the edge of your bed and just paused? Not because you're tired, not because you're in pain, but because something just feels off. Like your body is moving through mud, your mind isn't as sharp, and even small tasks suddenly feel like climbing a hill. It's not just getting old, it's not laziness. And no, it's not something you should just accept. There's something happening quietly, slowly, almost invisibly. A creeping force that steals energy, dulls the mind, eats away at strength, and robs far too many older adults of their independence. It doesn't strike overnight like a heart attack. It doesn't scream out like a broken bone. It whispers, it lingers, and before you know it, it's taken more than you realized. We call it the silent epidemic. And what makes it truly dangerous isn't that it's rare, it's that it's everywhere. Hidden behind polite smiles and "I'm fine" replies. It's that creeping fatigue, the mild forgetfulness, the way your world starts to shrink little by little. And the worst part, most people don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. But here's the good news, you're here. And that means you're not ignoring it, you're paying attention, you're choosing to fight back. And that's exactly what we're going to do, together. In this video, we're going to uncover the truth behind this silent epidemic, what's really happening beneath the surface, and 6 powerful ways to take back control. Real tools, simple shifts, no gimmicks, just proven strategies that help you regain energy, sharpness, and strength, so you can keep doing the things you love with the people you care about most. So let's begin with one of the biggest causes behind this quiet decline. And it might surprise you. It starts with something most people over 60 experience almost daily: inactivity. We've been told to take it easy as we age. Rest more, don't overdo it. And while rest is important, too much of it can become a trap. Because here's what happens. When you stop moving, your muscles shrink, your bones weaken, your heart works less efficiently, and your brain, well, it gets less oxygen, which means less focus, less memory, less clarity. The body was designed to move, and when it doesn't, it starts to shut down, slowly. You might think, but I go for a walk here and there, or I do house chores, isn't that enough? It's a great start, but your body needs more structure. Gentle stretching, resistance exercises, even simple balance movements can keep your blood flowing, your joints fluid, and your muscles active. The best part, you don't need fancy equipment or a gym, just your body, a bit of space, and a willingness to begin. Even just 10 to 15 minutes a day of targeted movement can drastically improve strength, flexibility, and mental clarity. And when your body feels stronger, your confidence grows. You stand taller, you think clearer, you begin to feel more like you again. Now, as we move from the body to the mind, let's talk about something equally critical, but often brushed aside: mental fog. It starts small. You walk into a room and forget why. You misplace your glasses more often. You struggle to recall a name that used to come instantly. It's frustrating, sometimes embarrassing, and all too often it's dismissed as just aging. But your brain, much like your body, is a living organ. It thrives on stimulation, blood flow, and nourishment. And when it's neglected, it doesn't just stop working, it starts to decay. But this isn't something you need to accept. There are simple, practical ways to feed your brain and keep it sharp well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. The first is mental movement. That's right, just like your muscles, your brain needs to be challenged regularly. And no, I don't mean solving calculus or reading a textbook. I'm talking about things you actually enjoy, learning something new, even if it's small. Maybe it's trying out a new recipe, playing a memory game, or taking up a musical instrument or hobby you've always been curious about. These things light up the brain, create new neural pathways, and keep cognitive decline at bay. You know what else works? Conversation. Real, meaningful conversations where you share stories, ask questions, and listen. It might sound simple, but human interaction is one of the most effective brain boosters we have. Even calling a friend, joining a local group, or chatting during your morning walk can do wonders. But mental sharpness isn't just about what you do. It's also about what you feed your mind. And this brings us to another hidden culprit behind the epidemic: nutrition. You might not feel it immediately, but every bite you take either fuels your energy or drains it. A diet loaded with processed foods, sugary snacks, and heavy sodium doesn't just impact your waistline. It affects your brain, your heart, and even your mood. You may feel more sluggish, more irritable, and more prone to forgetfulness. But the opposite is also true. When you fuel your body with real, whole foods, leafy greens, berries, lean proteins, healthy fats, everything starts to change. Your mind becomes clearer, your energy lasts longer, your sleep improves. Don't underestimate the power of something as simple as hydration either. Most older adults don't drink nearly enough water, and chronic dehydration leads to fatigue, confusion, and even dizziness. Just increasing your water intake can have a noticeable impact within days. Now, I know what some people might think. I've eaten this way for decades. What difference will it make now? The truth? A massive difference. Your body is constantly repairing, rebuilding, and renewing itself. Even now, it never stops. And the nutrients you give it today directly impact how you feel tomorrow. It's never too late to fuel your body in a way that supports healing and longevity. But even when the body is nourished and the brain is active, there's one more force working silently against seniors, and that's emotional withdrawal. It doesn't happen suddenly. It builds slowly, often triggered by retirement, the loss of loved ones, or feeling like your role in society has changed. You may find yourself staying home more, talking less, or simply feeling like you don't have as much to offer. But let me tell you something powerful. You are not done. You still matter. And the world needs your voice, your wisdom, and your presence. Staying emotionally engaged is one of the most powerful tools you have in this fight. When you have purpose, when you feel connected to something bigger than yourself, whether it's a hobby, volunteering, mentoring, or just sharing stories with your grandchildren, your entire outlook changes. Studies have shown that a strong sense of purpose is directly tied to lower rates of disease, better brain health, and even longer life. So far, we've uncovered some of the hidden reasons this quiet epidemic continues to spread: inactivity, mental fog, poor nutrition, emotional withdrawal. Each one slowly draining your strength and joy if left unchecked. But awareness is just the beginning. What really makes a difference is action. Because once you start making small, intentional changes, you begin to notice something. Life becomes a little lighter. The days feel fuller. And that version of you that you thought was gone, it starts to return. Let's keep going. There's something that doesn't get talked about nearly enough, and that's sleep. Not just any sleep, but deep, restorative sleep. Because let's be honest, how often do you really wake up feeling refreshed? If you're like most people over 60, it's probably rare. Maybe you toss and turn. Maybe you wake up multiple times a night. Or maybe your mind races the moment your head hits the pillow. The truth is, poor sleep is more than just an annoyance. Over time, it becomes a health risk. It affects your memory, your mood, your immune system, even your balance. And yet, many seniors simply accept it as part of getting older. But it doesn't have to be. Creating a consistent sleep routine can be life-changing. That means going to bed and waking up at the same time each day, even on weekends. It means limiting caffeine after lunch, avoiding heavy meals before bedtime, and yes, cutting back on screen time late at night. Try winding down with calming rituals, like gentle stretches, soft music, or reading something light. And most importantly, create a bedroom that invites rest, cool, dark, quiet, and free from distractions. And here's something that might surprise you. Getting sunlight during the day can actually help you sleep better at night. It resets your body's natural clock, helping you feel more awake during the day and naturally sleepy when night comes. Just 15 to 20 minutes of natural light, especially in the morning, can make a real difference. Now, let's shift to something a little more invisible but equally important: stress. For a long time, people thought of stress as a young person's issue: deadlines, traffic, careers, kids. But stress in later life is just as real, and in many ways, even more harmful. It can be quiet. It can look like worry over finances, feeling alone, dealing with health concerns, or navigating changes in family dynamics. And it lingers, tightening your chest, stealing your breath, keeping your mind busy when it should be at peace. Here's the thing about stress: it's not always loud. Sometimes it hides in your shoulders, your stomach, your habits. And the longer it stays, the more damage it does, especially to your heart, your sleep, your digestion, and your emotional resilience. But you don't have to let it build up. One of the simplest ways to diffuse stress is through intentional breathing. Not just taking a deep breath, but slow, conscious, rhythmic breathing. Try this. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4, then exhale gently through your mouth for 4 counts. Do that a few times and watch what happens to your heartbeat, your mind, and even the tension in your shoulders. It may sound too easy to work, but this one small act has been shown to calm the nervous system, reduce blood pressure, and restore a sense of peace in moments of chaos. Another powerful tool against stress: gratitude. It might sound cliche, but when you train your mind to focus on what is working, what you do have, it slowly quiets the noise of worry. Keep a simple gratitude notebook. Just write down 3 things each day that made you smile: a phone call, a warm cup of tea, a good laugh. These things matter. They keep you grounded. They remind you that no matter how hard life gets, there are still pockets of joy waiting to be noticed. Let's talk now about something that can't be overlooked: connection. Humans are social beings. It's wired into our biology. And yet, as people age, their circles often shrink. Friends move away, loved ones pass, families get busy, and suddenly the days feel quieter, lonelier. It's easy to start believing that isolation is just part of aging, but here's the truth: isolation is dangerous. Studies have shown that loneliness can be just as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases your risk of depression, heart disease, even early death. That's how powerful human connection is. But here's what's beautiful: connection doesn't have to be complicated. It can be a weekly phone call with a friend, a chat with a neighbor over morning coffee, joining a local group even if it's just once a week, volunteering, attending a class, sharing a hobby online. These small acts create a ripple. They pull you back into the world, and they remind you you're not alone. Sometimes reaching out can feel hard, especially if you haven't done it in a while, but it's worth it. And there are people out there who would love to talk, to listen, to share their own stories. All it takes is one step. And finally, Perhaps the most important way to fight back against this silent epidemic is to reclaim your sense of purpose. It's easy, especially after retirement or major life changes, to feel like you've done your part, that your best years are behind you. But that's just not true. Purpose doesn't retire, it evolves, it deepens. And in many ways, your wisdom and experience make you more valuable now than ever before. Whether it's mentoring someone younger, writing down your life stories, pursuing a passion that's been on hold, or simply being present for your loved ones, purpose gives life meaning. It keeps your spirit alive. It gives you something to wake up for, and that matters more than any supplement, any exercise, or any health trick. You don't need to change the world. You just need to show up for yourself, for someone else, for the life you still have ahead of you. Every single day you're alive is a day worth living fully. By now, you've probably started to notice something powerful. This silent epidemic, the one quietly draining the health, spirit, and energy of so many seniors. It's not just about the body, it's about the mind, the heart, the soul. And what's even more powerful, you can do something about it. Not with dramatic overhauls or expensive treatments, but with real, simple, daily choices. Because this fight isn't about avoiding age, it's about embracing it with strength, with joy, and with purpose. Now, let's turn our attention to one final element in this fight, one that may surprise you. It's movement. Not just exercise, not just stretching, but the act of choosing motion over stillness every single day. Here's the truth. You don't have to go to a gym or run a marathon to stay healthy, but you do have to move. Because the body at any age is made to move, and the longer we stay still, the faster we decline in strength, in energy, in balance, and yes, even in joy. Movement doesn't have to be big. It can be walking around the house while you're on the phone, dancing while you do the dishes, a gentle stretch in the morning, a stroll around the block before the sun sets. What matters is that you choose motion again and again, instead of letting the couch or the recliner become a permanent home. And here's the beauty of it. The more you move, the more you want to move. The knees ache less, the back loosens, the breath deepens, your sleep improves, your balance stabilizes, your brain feels sharper, everything starts to shift. And in those moments, you begin to reclaim something priceless, your independence. Because at the heart of this silent epidemic is the loss of independence, the slow fading of the ability to do what you want, when you want, without relying on someone else. And that's not just about pride, that's about freedom, dignity, control over your own life. So many people reach a certain age and start to believe it's normal to give up that control, to let others take over, to shrink their world. But it doesn't have to be that way. Every walk, every stretch, every deep breath is a declaration. I'm still here. I still matter. I still get to decide how I live. And if there's one thing to remember from everything we've talked about, let it be this. Aging is not a sickness. It's a privilege. Not everyone gets to grow old. Not everyone gets the chance to reflect, to laugh, to hug, to learn something new. Every sunrise you witness, every moment you breathe, that's a gift, a chance. And you deserve to live it fully. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect. But you can start small. You can take one habit, one tiny step, and let it lead to the next. Maybe tonight you try breathing deeply before bed. Maybe tomorrow morning you go for a short walk. Maybe you call someone you haven't spoken to in years. Maybe you drink a glass of water before your coffee. Maybe you simply stand up and stretch instead of staying still. These are the moments that build health. These are the choices that rewrite your story. And no matter your age, your past, or your circumstances, it is never too late to change direction, to fight back against the quiet decline, to live with vitality and power and dignity. And if you ever feel discouraged, if you ever think, what's the point? Just remember, someone out there is watching you, a grandchild, a neighbor, a friend. And when you take care of yourself, when you choose to live fully, you give them permission to do the same. You become an example, a light. So breathe in, stand tall, smile wide, and know this: you are not alone in this fight. There's a whole community here, people just like you, who are choosing to thrive instead of shrink, who are choosing strength over fear, joy over silence, movement over stillness. And if this video spoke to you, if it sparked something deep in your heart, then say it out loud, in the comments, in your own life. Share your thoughts, your story, your struggles, your victories, because your voice matters. And someone out there needs to hear it. And if you found this helpful, please give it a like. Not for the numbers, but because every like helps spread this message to more seniors who might be silently struggling. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've got more powerful, practical, and heart-centered videos coming your way. This isn't the end, it's the beginning, a new chapter, a new commitment to yourself. So here's to that, to living boldly, aging powerfully, and waking up every day with the quiet, unshakable belief that life is still beautiful. Here's to you, here's to vitality, and here's to the years still waiting for you to live them fully.